about college teams, if they're fair or not. Nick, go ahead.
In football, you see Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. Every year they're in the top five rankings, and every year they're in the championship game. Alabama is. They've won the championship 4 times in the last 8 years, and they still have a chance to repeat this year. So.
And then you just see these random teams every year. They got lucky with the players that they got to come to them, so they have one good year. But yet every year you see Alabama and Clemson in it, so it's just not fair.
Like the small teams like Western Michigan, they were undefeated until they played, who was it, Wisconsin in the Cotton Bowl. Solid team, Western Michigan, but Wisconsin not undefeated, but still just a better team in general, and they won that game.
It's very much like Monopoly, which is supposed to be illegal. You got the big companies such as Alabama and Clemson, then the smaller up and coming companies such as Western Michigan. It never works out for the little guy.
And so it's just not fair. It's not a fair system.
That's why monopolies are illegal.
Yeah.
And maybe we should somehow make a change to the amount of players they can get or something to
The
somehow
amount
make it more
of
fair.
money they're allowed to spend on scholarships.
We'll see. I think that's a little too far because you can't really. I mean, you can't really tell people you can only use this much money on this. You can only spend your money this way. That's very un-American, and sports aren't very American. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
Whether the sport needs it or not.
Let's say I'm the top running back in the nation for high school, and I'm trying to pick where I want to go to college. I see Alabama winning every year. That's where I'm going to want to go. They clearly are doing stuff right. They're going to win a championship. I want to win a championship, so why wouldn't I want to go there? That's where I can win.
And then all the other colleges just get the second-rate running backs or any other position. They just get the whatever left over.
Not a fair system.
The same thing goes for pro sports, I'd say. The Yankees had a really strong run not too long ago. Maybe the Cubs will have something great with all these young players that they have now, and they'll start over again. I'd say that's better, though, because at least the Cubs didn't have such a great run in between, 100 years.
Yeah.
Someone even say it's the worst in the NBA when you have teams like the Warriors and the Cavaliers who are very clearly just going to be in the finals again, and it's just not even fair.
Well, and the
There are
Cavs just acquired Kyle Korver, one of the top 3-point shooters in the league. And
So they just keep adding to their arsenal of deadly players. It's just not fair.
Yeah, and all these the worst teams like the Bucks, they're all pretty bad. They
The
don't
Bucks
stand a
The
chance.
Bucks do suck.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Don't
the
stand a
Bucks are
chance.
just an absolutely just mockery of the NBA. They are the laughing stock of the league.
Yeah, you see they have Giannis, they got Jabari. They're really building. I can see them being a real contender in the next
They're
couple
trying to
years.
build, but yet they're still just
Yeah.
an absolutely terrible team.
I mean, there's a few bigger teams up and coming. The Spurs, Rockets. Who else is out there?
The Thunder.
Thunder, yeah.
Russell Westbrook dominating the league right now.
And yet still debatably an elite player.
One thing about the NBA is that it doesn't have a salary cap.
Yeah.
You can pay players as much as you want, and so it'll be the teams with the most money that can afford championships. Essentially, what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And it's a
How
lot
is-
of
How is the Thunder able to compete with the Warriors when Thunder, they have 1, maybe 2 star players, but the Warriors have 5 guys that can score 30 points any night. So it's just hard to compete.
The Warriors, the toughest job Steve Kerr has to decide is which one of the elite players he has on his team should he start tonight. He doesn't have a difficult job with deciding between Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. It's just
Just put them on the court, and
Yeah.
they'll win a game.
they'll perform.
Mhm.
And now the same thing goes that now with the Cavs acquiring Korver, they've got Korver,
Kyrie,
James.
J.R. Smith,
LeBron
Kevin
James.
Love.
They've got those are 2 teams that are going to be in the finals for the next 3 years.
I
So
mean,
what's the
if-
point of
if
even
not the
watching
finals,
NBA?
at least the playoffs.
Yeah,
for sure.
playoffs.
That's a given.
That's a good point, Alex. What's the point of watching when we know that one team's gonna win every time.
What's the point of even
Or it's
playing the
gonna be down
regular
to two
season?
teams.
Why don't we just have these two teams play the NBA Finals and then
Because we know they're
That's-
the
that's
best
what it's gonna
team.
be.
Everyone's hoping, I guess, for a Cinderella story, sort of.
Yeah.
Want one team to come through.
Kind of like in March Madness too. You see the same teams: Duke, Villanova, North Carolina, Kentucky. See them winning
Michigan State.
a lot of the years. Yeah, they're always in the tournament. They're always going to the Final Four, Sweet 16. But you're just rooting for the one team, the 16 seed or the
Yeah.
10 seed to make
You
it
watch
there.
for like teams like Wichita State,
Yeah.
11 seed, I believe.
someone
Maybe
even
the
say it's
fourth
worse for women's college basketball where UConn
Oh
just
yeah,
dominates.
that's a good point.
It's just
Mhm.
not even fair at that
Mhm.
point.
Yeah. UConn's they go on
I don't know how
100,
many years.
100 game win
Talk
streaks.
about dynasty.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not a fun thing to watch. Just like the Bucks.
Ouch.
No,
I mean, who even watches the Bucks? And I mean, anyone? Am I right?
I don't think anyone does.
All right.
The
We'll
Bucks
take
are
it over to a
terrible.
commercial break before our next topic.
Bucks suck.
We're here to show off this Little Tykes basketball hoop. As you can see, you can raise and lower it to any height you want. Perfect for a pickup game of basketball.
Little Tykes. It's in the name.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This will be our final segment. We are going to be talking about the NFL restricting players from wearing custom cleats. And Chase?
Yeah, so just recently, Craig Sager, ESPN Encore Analysis, passed away, and Odell Beckham Jr. wanted to wear cleats in memory of him. And he was actually fined by the NFL, he said, for wearing them because they didn't fit their rules on cleats.
Yeah, and then looking into it, they've done this multiple times. They've fined Antonio Brown, Deshaun Jackson, and Andre Hopkins for wearing different cleats that don't fit their standard. And their standard is shoes must be of standard football design, including sneaker type shoes such as basketball shoes, cross training shoes, etc. And each team must designate a dominant base color for its shoes, either black or white, and then they have to stick to that. So, different times players have tried to honor different things. For example, Deshaun Jackson wore a pair that addressed the police brutality, and then he was fined for that. So, it's interesting why they'd be so specific about the cleats.
It's good to have like a set uniform because you're part of a team. You're not just an individual. Doing whatever you want on the team. But at the same time, like honoring Craig Sager and even like the players that wanted to have shoes that honor 9/11 on when they played. I feel like that's a little too far when you go out and find players for doing something like that, representing something that they believed in or they, respected or felt bad about in the case of 9/11. So.
Yeah, and if they just wore the like cool shoes out of the blue, then it would be understandable. But they're getting fined for wearing shoes that show something they believe in or honoring something. So that just doesn't seem like it's right.
Right.
Yeah, and by the way, Craig Sager worked for TNT, not ESPN. And also, players were almost fined by the NFL for wearing cleats in remembrance of 9/11, but the league decided not to in this specific case.
Yes, that's right.
And then 1 week in December, the NFL changed their stance for some reason. For 1 week, they'd allow players to wear any custom shoe they wanted. But it was just 1 week, and that's all they wanted about it. They didn't change the rules at all. They just, for 1 week, they decided to let them wear a custom shoe.
Do you know what week that was specifically?
So it was looks like December 2nd, the week of December 2nd. They allowed them to wear custom shoes, but
That seems strange.
So they get to wear them for one game and then they have to go back to their wearing normal shoes.
And if these shoes have clearly no impact on the game in any way, I don't see why the guidelines or the rules are there to restrict the cleats they're wearing.
But then, like I said earlier, like you want to have a uniform,
Yeah.
but something like shoes is small and it doesn't really matter that much. And it only matters if you're doing something special with it, which would be like the Craig Sager or the 9/11 shoes.
It's interesting though, because in like basketball and soccer, each player has their own shoe. Like the Messis or the Currys, the Durants, they all have their own shoe, and I don't see why they should be able to do that, but not an NFL player.
It's likely a deal with whoever provides the shoes. That like a team would pick which color, and then the whatever company like Nike or Under Armour or something would provide that perfect shoe for them, and customize and whatever. And for each team, I imagine that's the case in most situations. And that's why they have the guidelines, so they have that solid rule, and no one will go out and make their own shoe or buy their own shoe that will rob the money of whatever deal they had with the company. So,
Yeah, I could see that.
Em, any thoughts?
I mean, it's far past me. It's just shoes. Don't know why it's caused such a commotion.
You're right.
I think that's
Simple
what
as
a lot
that.
of people are thinking about this one.
Just shoes. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching the Sports Talk Show again. Lucas Espinosa, Adam, Chase Monday, Alex Sunday, and Nick.
But